The World Baseball Classic kicks off on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And
There's some pretty stacked teams.
There are. There was an article on, I can't remember if it was ESPN or The Athletic, some one of those, that was comparing the lineups, like the best lineups at the World Baseball Classic, and comparing them to like historical major league lineups. I didn't send you that part, and it gave like the percentile of what they would be in Major League Baseball this upcoming season, what they projections would be.
Gotcha.
And both of these two teams we're going to talk about, which is the United States and the Dominican Republic, would be the best offense in Major League Baseball this season, projected wise.
I mean, yeah, we basically, I feel like we're looking at two all-star teams right here.
We basically are. So why don't you read off the USA lineup? I'll read off the Dominican Republic lineup, and then we'll kind of talk about it a little bit.
So leading off for your United States of America, Americans, is Mookie Betts. And batting second, most likely playing shortstop, Trey Turner. Batting third, playing center field, Mike Trout. Batting fourth, playing first base, Paul Goldschmidt. And a slugger, either DHing or playing in the outfield, Kyle Schwarber.
Let's hope he's not playing the outfield.
Oh, goodness. And then we got, right? Well, where are we going to have batting sixth? Polar Bear Pete. I already said Goldschmidt was at first. Anyways, then we got at seventh, we got Kyle Tucker. At eighth, we got Nolan Arenado. And the 9-hole, if this is your 9-hole, you're looking pretty damn good. JT Realmuto.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a good lineup. But
yeah.
Is it better than the Dominican Republic lineup? So I'll read that off now. In center field, we've got Julio Rodriguez. Shortstop, Wander Franco. Now, the guy batting third, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's actually not going to be at the World Baseball Classic. He's going to miss through injury, but I'm still including him anyway, just because.
Dang, I didn't know that.
But batting third, playing first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. In left field, Juan Soto. Third base, Manny Machado. Probably DHing would be Devers.
Okay.
Which Hernandez is this? I forget. I just wrote down the last
Blue
name.
Jays. Teoscar
Hernandez. Second base, Gene Segura. And then catching is Francisco Mejia, probably the weak spot on the team.
Yeah, that is in the lineup.
Yeah.
Great defensive catcher. Really good receiving, framing on the base paths. But yeah, a weak spot in the lineup.
Yeah. So which lineup do you think is better?
I mean, taking Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out of that, if we're leaving him in there, that definitely helps their case.
Leave him in there for the discussion.
Okay.
Leave him in there for the discussion.
Man, I mean, I'd have to actually say the U.S. still. I mean,
it's close.
The Dominican is stacked, but I mean, you're talking Mookie, Trey, Mike Trout, Paul Goldschmidt, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker, Nolan Arenado, JT. There's not a weak spot. There is not a weak spot. You can 1 through 9 can go deep on you at any given moment. And now for the most part, I'd say 1 through 7 can go deep on you at any moment. Gene Segura is a really good player. I like him a lot. Great defensively. Not a huge power hitter. He can get on base like a motherfucker. But so 8 and 9 are a little weak for the Dominican. That's the only reason I would give the edge to the U.S. just because 1 through 9 is literally like you don't want to pitch to any of those guys.
And the Dominican team is really young too. I mean,
right.
Julio Rodriguez, Wander Franco, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Juan Soto, Rafael Devers, like they're all under 25. Or 25 or younger, like all.
And Segura's under 30.
I think he's around 30, 31, somewhere in there. And Machado is not old. I mean, Machado is 30, 31, so he's not old. I think he's 30. I think he's 30. But yeah,
Segura is 32.
I would agree with you. I think the U.S. a little stronger, probably a little better defensively too, aside from the Schwarber part, which Schwarber, I guess in this situation,
I'm guessing DH.
I think Alonso has to DH because Goldie's, he's a Gold Glove first baseman, so he's playing first base. I don't think you're putting Pete Alonso in the outfield over Schwarber. As questionable as Schwarber's defense is, he's still probably better out there.
So you got Mookie,
Alonso.
Mike Trout, and Kyle Tucker in the outfield, and then we'll have Trey Turner at short, Nolan Arenado at third. We're throwing Polar Bear Pete at second base, baby, and we're making it happen.
Wait, no, I think Betts is going to play second.
That's right. I've actually seen him playing second in spring training.
Betts is going to play second for the team because we've got 4 outfielders.
That's Betts right. So Schwarber will be in the outfield, and Pete Alonso will be DHing.
So I guess Trout in center, Schwarber in left, and Tucker in right.
Yep, you're right.
Tucker and Trout both plus defenders, so they can kind of shade over left a little bit to kind of protect Schwarber.
Hey, Schwarber can make some plays out there. He doesn't have the range, but he can make plays.
No, I once called Schwarber the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen.
Good Lord, okay.
But there are definitely worse ones. That was being hyperbolic. But
right,
I mean, he came up as a catcher, Schwarber.
Well, yeah,
the fact that he's playing in the outfield is
that's because you got to have his bat in the lineup, and that's just how baseball goes sometimes.
But anyway, you know what I'm really excited about with the WBC is there's one player in particular that I'm really excited to watch, to the point where he plays for Japan.
I know who you're going for.
It's not
somebody we haven't talked about yet. It's not
Shohei. It's not Shohei.
Whoa, okay.
I can watch Shohei anytime. We're in the same division. I watch Shohei a bunch.
He hit one out off one knee, Beltre style.
Yeah, he did. And it didn't look like he got all of it. And it was
he off the end of the bat or some shit.
But his teammate is who I really want to watch, to the point where, like, Japan's games are going to be on at like 4:00 in the morning. I'm tempted for the game that this guy starts to actually get up at 4 a.m. to watch the game.
Okay.
And his name is Roki Sasaki.
Okay.
He's a 21-year-old starting pitcher. This guy, we talked about him briefly on the podcast back in April last year, so pretty early on. He threw a perfect game in MPB, came out the next game and threw 8 perfect innings before getting pulled because of.
Was this when we talked about him?
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember that.
Like, this guy hit in MPB to this point in his career, he has 241 strikeouts and a 2.10 ERA in 192 innings.
It's pretty good.
He's 21.
That's insane.
He can throw the ball 102 miles per hour, and he averages 98.
At 21.
At 21 as a starter. He was 20 last year when he was playing. He also throws a forkball, which is awesome.
That is pretty great. That's not very common anymore.
No, it's not. And he has a curve and a slider as well that are all basically plus pitches. Like, this is a guy that if he was able to be posted from Japan to come over to the US right now, there's no telling how much money this guy would get on the open market.
Yeah.
Like, he is maybe the biggest pitching prospect. And he's not even really a prospect because he's a professional, but the biggest pitching phenom maybe in the world right now, which is saying something. Like, I'm so excited to be able to watch this guy pitch.
So who's got the odds on getting him?
I mean, it's going to be probably 5 years before he's even able to come over.
Oh, dang.
Because I think that he can't be posted until after he's 25, I think.
Dang.
I don't know the rules exactly. Otani was able to come over quicker because
I thought you were a Japanese aficionado.
I am not. I watched Mr. Baseball one time.
Fair.
It's a good movie, by the way. Pretty good movie. And American players that have gone over to Japan to play say that the movie is like required watching for anybody that goes over to play baseball in Japan. Because it
Good.
actually is like a lot like that. So that's kind of cool. It's a fact I learned not too long ago.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Otani was able to get around that because he basically came over on his own as a free agent and wasn't able to be posted, wasn't able to be signed to a major league contract. He had to sign for a minor league contract. That's why
Okay.
he's going into free agency right now instead of having, still a couple of years worth of a deal. Because he had
Gotcha.
to be signed as an amateur as a minor league free agent essentially. So everybody had the exact same amount of money they were going to give him because they couldn't give him any more.
Gotcha. So different than the Yu Darvish situation.
Right. Yu Darvish pitched long enough in MPB to be posted by his team.
And then it was just a bidding
Which is,
war.
for the most part, how guys come from Japan over to the US. Otani was different. Otani forego getting the money early because he could have made money. He would have made more money in Japan these last few years than he's made in the US.
Right. But if you think about the recognition and everything he's getting that came along with it,
right.
then I'd say it was worth it.